Good morning, afternoon and evening everyone. My name is Liam and welcome back to the Pokemon Premier League. The season has begun once again and it is time for you to cheer for your West Shan United team. We got the thing over here. That is the West Shan United team. This is the team you're going to be supporting in the Pokemon Premier League. If you don't know what the Pokemon Premier League is, it is just a draft format Pokemon League with a load of friends of mine. All their channels will be in the description below so you can check it out. We do have two divisions. I am in Division 1 because last season I won the playoff match because we finished 10th out of 12 places. So we didn't have the best season, but we won our playoff match so we could stay in Division 1. And this year is going to be even spookier than last season because now I can't use my excuse of, well, it's my first season, it's my first time doing a draft league, because now it's my second time of doing a draft league. So I can't use that reason anymore. But we're here. Dunno. Get used to it. And we're going to win this one. We're going to do well. So, if you don't know how the Pokemon Premier League works, and you've only seen a few other draft leagues and you haven't seen Pokemon Premier League, the way our draft format works is each Pokemon is assigned a value. Now, we get a budget of, well, technically the budget is £110 million, but I always just say 110 just because it's a bit easier to, like, if you start throwing in millions, you don't really need to. So we got, our budget is 110, and Pokemon are assigned a value. So Kieran Black was 20 million, so if you wanted to draft Kieran Black, you had to spend £20 out of your 110 budget, which would leave you on £90, and you had to have a team of at least 8 Pokemon. So we don't do it by tiers, and we don't do it by Smogon tiers or assigned tiers either. We do it by price. So as I go through it, I'll try my best to remember the price. I can't promise that I remember them all because I'm not very clever. And as you look at other people's like Pokemon, PPL, whatever you want to call it, draft videos, theirs will be better, but I'm a lazy shitbag, so this is what mine's going to be. Plus, I love my face. I just need to see more of my face all the time. But we did have a few plans going into this. We had a few plans. I think I had 6 draft plans, and they all got ruined in the first round. My initial first pick was going to be Starmie, because I wanted to draft, because when in our draft league, as all draft leagues, the draft league order was snake format, so it goes 1 to 12 and it goes 12 to 1, and we was in the 11th spot, so we had kind of a wheel pick in which we got the second to last pick, but then we got the second pick in the next round. And what I initially wanted was Starmie and Skarmory, and that was like the initial my plan A. Starmie went, and then I was gonna think, and then I was going to draft something else, and just a whole mess of stuff happened, so I kind of had to improvise. But the first Pokemon we drafted was Infernape! Infernape, which will be nicknamed Double Barrel because he is a barrel of monkeys and he can be physical or special, so he has the double offense options, so he is Double Barrel. Infernape, as I said, can be physical or special, has Nasty Plot, has Swords Dance? I feel like it gets Swords Dance. Priority in Muck Punch and Vacuum Wave, gets U-Turn, it can use Scarf, it can use Choice Band, it can even run Will-O-Wisp, it's a good Fake Out user, it can use Stealth Rocks, it can just be Monkey. And last season I didn't have a Fire type in my team at all, which really hindered me because Stab Fire was something that all season I was like, damn, if only I had a Stab Fire move right now or any Fire move right now, and it really messed me up. So this season I just went for it straight away, Infernape. A lot of people, or a few people, might say that Infernape's not really a round 1 pick, but I feel like Infernape is pretty viable, like round 1. It's got a lot of viability in the fact that it's a good Pokemon to have in draft format because it can do so many jobs. It can run Nasty Plot, or it can be physical, or it can just set up rocks, or it can use Will-O-Wisp, it can be Choice Scarf, Choice Band, Focus Sash, Life Orb, then you got all the berries it can run. It's just like one of those Pokemon that you pick and it's not necessarily someone says, oh well, it can only do this. And it gets a fair few coverage options in Stone Edge, Earthquake, U-Turn, obviously the stab moves it gets, and it gets things like Grass Knot, and or gets the elemental punches, can run Iron Fist, or you can run Blaze with Focus Sash, and I'm a big fan of Infernape, so I think this was a perfectly fine round 1 pick for me. Then we got sniped again, because I really wanted to draft Mega Blastoise. I really wanted to draft Mega Blastoise, but it literally went in the next round, and I was kicking myself for not drafting Mega Blastoise first. So that was a mistake on my part. So I just put the idea of getting a spinner out of my mind for the time being, and I wanted to draft this Pokemon last season, but I didn't. And this season, I made sure to grab it because it's something I've been really interested in using for a long time, and that is my boy, Scolipede, who is going to be nicknamed Oak, because he is like a great oak in the wood, because Scolipede are centipedes. Centipedes remind me of woodlouses. Woodlouses, like those little bugs that you get. I see them a lot in England, obviously. Wood reminded me of oak, and centipedes live in the woods, so he's called Oak. He's going to be the mighty great oak, and your defense will be terrified of mighty great oak. Scolipede, of course, does Scolipede things. Everyone knows what Scolipede does, and if you don't, it pretty much just gets Speed Boost, Swords Dance, Iron Defense, Swords Dance, Iron Defense, and then Baton passes into something else, so you pass a Swords Dance and a Speed Boost into something that can fuck shit up. Or Scolipede can fuck shit up himself, because Scolipede has fairly decent attack stat. It gets fairly decent coverage in Earthquake and Rock Slide and Aqua Tail, and it gets Toxic Spikes as well, and Scolipede can run Black Sludge or Life Orb, or it can do Substitute, or it doesn't have to be Sub at all. You can just, it doesn't have to be Swords Dance at all. It can just run Choice Band and just get the speed boosts, and Scolipede's fun. And the fact that I have a speed boost mon with Baton Pass that can also Baton Pass Swords Dances, because we don't have the Baton Pass clause in the PPL, I'm allowed to pass Swords Dance and Speed at the same time, is fun times indeed. Is very fun times indeed. Plus it gets things like Pursuit and stuff like that, so it's not a bad little Pursuit Trapper. It can do Pursuit Trap things sometimes. Mega Horn's going to do huge damage to a lot of things, and what Mega Horn doesn't hit, Poison Jab normally does hit, so Scolipede does Scolipede things. There's not much you can really say about it. It does have fairly decent attack, fairly decent stats around the board as well. Can sort of take a hit, and can run Focus Sash. Not a bad little Focus Sash user. So I've got two speedy offense mons right off the bat. I have my Firefighting and I have my Bug Poison. Two speedy offense threats right off the bat. So what do I need? I need more speed control. I need to control more of the speed. And I really wanted the fairy. This was the fairy round, round 3. Everyone drafted their fairies. I think in round 3, Sylveon went, Florges went, Aromatisse went, Togekiss went. All the fairies were being snapped up. So it's time for me to grab my fairy. And this was the fairy I planned for the whole time. So it's not like I had to settle for this fairy. This is the fairy that I wanted, because I thought it was good and I liked the idea of it. So please, welcome to the field, the lovely Whimsicott, who is nicknamed Scab, because Whimsicott is made of cotton, cotton picking, you pick scabs, Whimsicott's called Scab. Whimsicott is a fun Pokemon to use, and it's really damn funny to use too. With Prankster, because you get Prankster Encore and Prankster Leech Seed and Sub and Tailwind, and you can do Memento, and you can Memento stuff and then go out into Scolipede. So then no one can kill Scolipede, and you set up a Sub, and Scolipede is behind the Sub and +1 speed. Whimsicott works really well with Scolipede, pretty much. Whimsicott also works quite well with Infernape. It gets T-Wave. I need more speed control. Whimsicott gives me very good speed control. Also has some decent offense options as well. In Giga Drain, Moonblast has a fairly decent special attack stat, and its speed is pretty good as well. So even if I just wanted to use it offensively and just wanted to run a choice specs on it, more than it can do that job pretty much. It can do that job. But a Prankster, Whimsicott's always a pain to deal with for people. No one ever really wants to fight one because it's just a son of a bitch to deal with. As I said before, I got sniped for Mega Blastoise. Mega Blastoise was a huge member of the team that even now I'm kicking myself that I didn't get. I'm really upset that I didn't get Mega Blastoise. So I had to make do. I wasn't 100% on this pick, and I'm still not 100% on this pick, but we have it now. So I want everyone to welcome to the stage regular Blastoise, who is called Nerf because Super Soakers were a brand of water gun here in England, and Nerf, the people who made the foam darts guns, made Super Soakers, so he's called Nerf. Blastoise is just like Mega Blastoise, except it's not as strong and not as bulky. It rapid spins, it has all the same coverage moves as Mega Blastoise in Aura Sphere and Dark Pulse and Dragon Pulse and Water Pulse and everything else, except it's just not as bulky. But that's not to say that regular Blastoise is bad. It can still rapid spin, it can still do Dragon Tails, it still hits kind of hard, still hits sort of hard. There's not much to say about Blastoise really. It's more bulky than people give it credit for, but I just wasn't as keen on it. I had my heart set on Mega Blastoise so much. But regular Blastoise can work out. It is a spinner, and it is technically a bulky water type. It can run Assault Vest, it can have Aqua Jet as well for priority. It's a pretty good Dragon Tail user. Again, like I said, spinner. It's not a bad Pokemon. It's just not the one that I wanted. There's not much I can really say about Blastoise. This next one, though, I can say a lot about, and it's one that came... Oh, I haven't been saying the prices. Let me quickly go back. Right, so Infernape cost 15, which put us on 95. Scolipede cost 15, which put us on 80. Whimsicott cost 9, I think. Let me just double check now. Let me just pull it up on the sheet. Let me pull it up on my sheet. I'm pretty sure Whimsicott cost 9. Whimsicott was 9, I'm right. Whimsicott was 9, which left me with 71, and Blastoise was 8, which left me with 63. I've probably got those numbers wrong. I'm not very good at maths in my head, mental arithmetic. But the next one I had came out of left field. No one was really expecting it, but the more people thought about it, the more it made sense, and the more it is actually going to do pretty damn good this season, I think, if I can use it correctly, because I have quite a difficult team to use. Like, if I go through my whole draft, I have quite a difficult team to use. But next up on the team is the pink wonder himself, called Hung Tongue the Lickitung. Lickitung. Look at him. Hung Tongue the Lickitung. I really only got Lickitung as a Wish user at first. Lickitung. Why am I saying Lickitung? Licky was only 5 million. I think that is a bargain for Licky. It has Wish, it has Heal Bell, it has great move coverage because it is a normal type. It has fairly decent stats too, if I can just pull them up here. I don't know them off the top of my head, but I'm fairly certain its attack stat is nothing to sneeze at. HP 110, attack 85, defense 95, special defense 95. Those aren't bad stats, not really. Especially when it's got Wish and Heal Bell, and then it has access to all the elemental punches. Gets things like Aqua Tail, Knock Off, Power Whip. Obviously, it gets Stab, Body Slam, it gets Belly Drum. It can use Explosion, which is always fun. If I wanted to run a slow one, it gets Gyro Ball, it can have Sword Dance. This is a good Pokemon to pass speed into. This is a good Pokemon to pass speed and Swords Dance into. Because if I can get a speedy Lickitung with speedy Licky with coverage and a Swords Dance, it can do some pretty decent damage and chunks to enemy teams. And like I said, Wish, Cleric, Support, good options. I think Licky was definitely a good one for the value that it was, which was 5 million. I think Licky was criminally 5 million. Plus I now have a Ghost Resist as well, so that's always fun things to have. The next one I had is I wanted a bit more bulk, and I wanted a dragon now, because I didn't want all the dragons to be gone, because last season I didn't have a dragon either, and that quite upset me. So this time I went for a dragon, and I wanted to use this dragon last season, but I didn't have enough money to get it in the trades system. I got it this time though, and a lot of people seem quite excited for it, and this is another one that I want to pass some speed into, and it's a Rec Shop, has a pretty good special attack stat, and can do some bulky things too. Have you got it yet? It is my oh, I didn't say, oh yeah, I did, I called it Hung Tug. Next one is my girl Goodra. Goodra, which is nicknamed Puff for now, even though I might change that, probably end up changing that. But Goodra is on the team. Goodra is our dragon type, 90 HP, 100 attack, 110 special attack, 150 special defense. So I don't even have to run special defense investment most of the time. This is like the perfect assault vest user ever, because you can just slap an assault vest on and bundle the rest of your EVs into HP or defense or attack or special attack or whatever is needed. You just don't need special defense investment on this thing. And of course, being a dragon, move coverage again. I know I keep saying it, but move coverage on this thing is ridiculous. All the elemental punches once again. It might not be all the elemental punches. I know it gets fire punch at least. Aqua Tail, Iron Tail for those pesky fairies, Sludge Waves for those fairies as well. It gets Bolt Beam options. It can drop a mean Draco. And then it gets things like, it can do Rain Dance, Rest, because it gets hydration too. Gooey is a very good ability, and Sap Sipper is good. It's got 3 usable abilities in this format. Gooey, slowing down people, more speed control. More speed control, that's what we need. I'm a big fan of Goodra. Again, it's a very good option for passing speed into with Scolipede. And even maybe passing in Swords Dance, because physical attack pool is quite good. It gets Outrage, Power Whip, like I said, Fire Punch before. It's not too bad. And it's bulk on bulk, and bulk's always hard to deal with. Now, some of you may have noticed, with Pokemon like Infernape, Scolipede, and Whimsicott, I am a bit vulnerable to bird attacks, bird spam, flying attacks at the moment. They're not my friends right now. I do not want to deal with flying attacks. So I had to cover that weakness, and I picked up something to quad resist the fire attacks. So say hello to Dwayne the Magnezone Johnson. Dwayne the Magnezone Johnson. Magnezone, it's pretty good. Magnezone is pretty good, and I feel like it's not criminally underused. I don't feel like it's criminally underused, but I feel like it could be used a bit more. I mean, it does have 130 special attack and 115 defense. The other stats are a bit lackluster, to be fair, but it quad resists the bird attacks, which I needed. It also resists rock attacks as well, which I was starting to get a bit funny about too. It's got some nice stab electric cover. It can do a slow volt turn, magnet pull to deal with the steel types, and hidden power fire. It gets some magnet rise, which is good. I can run air balloon magnet rise if I wanted to, just to really mess with people's heads. And it just does Magnezone things. It doesn't really do anything else. It is another explosion user though, so more explosions, more power. But Thunderbolt, Volt Switch, Flash Cannon, Charge Beam, Hidden Power Fire, Hidden Power Ice even as well, to switch in on dragons. This is a pretty good Mon that I like. I quite like Magnezone, and I feel like it can, again, another one that benefits from speed being passed into it. With base 130 special attack, if I don't have to run speed on it and can put the speed into HP, this thing is going to take hits and bash them back out again, which is pretty good. So I'm got a lot of options to pass my speed into at the moment. And if people are prepping for me to pass speed, then that's taking a lot out of their game, because I have to run a lot of things like Taunt and Thunder Wave and Sticky Webs and just stuff to stop my speed control, which takes a lot of their options away, especially if then I decide not to bring Baton Pass, because then that's a lot of their prep work just over with. So Magnezone was next up on the list, and Magnezone obviously weak to Earthquake. I didn't have anything to take Earthquake. I had stuff to cover the rest of Magnezone's weaknesses. No! Yeah, I did, yeah. I had stuff to cover the rest of Magnezone's weaknesses, but I didn't have anything to take Earthquake yet, so I had to deal with that. But I didn't want to pick something to just take Earthquake. I wanted something that was immune to Earthquake, and a type that I didn't have yet. So I went for the best Lake Trio you can have. This is not a debate. This is not a debate. This is the best Lake Trio. We picked up Yuxing. Yuxing is the best one of the Lake Trios. It's not a debate. Yuxing is amazing. Yuxing is love. Yuxing is life. It is like one of the most perfect support mons ever. Gets 130 defenses in both. It gets 95 speed. Hwah! It's not a bad Trick Room user if you wanted to use Trick Room. Gets Knockoff, it gets Thunder Wave, gets Stealth Rocks, gets quite a few coverage moves as well, which people don't realise. Things like Giga Drain and Signal Beam and Water Pulse. If I wanted to run Water Pulse, I might need it 1 week. You never know. You never know. I might need Water Pulse. Can also run a slow U-turn as well, so I can go out into things like Scolipede and Infernape much easier. Can be a good Calm Mind user, and it's another option for Memento shenanigans. Also gets Yawn as well. I really like Yuxing. Again, it gives me my Earthquake immunity. It gives me a Psychic type, which I did not have yet, which is good. Pairs up well with Whimsicott, because Whimsicott doesn't really want to be taken. No, not Whimsicott. Who am I thinking? Pairs up well with Infernape. I don't know how I got Whimsicott and Infernape mixed up, but it pairs up well with Infernape and Magnezone. So that's pretty good. Also, I should have mentioned Magnezone rounded off our Fairy Dragon Steel core, being Goodra, Whimsicott and Magnezone, and we already have a Water Fire Grass core with Infernape, Whimsicott and Blastoise. So already our cores are much better than last season, where last season I didn't have a Dragon Fairy Steel or a Water Fairy Grass or a Water Fire Grass, because I didn't have a Fire type and I didn't have a Dragon type. So last season I had no core, but this season we have some cores. So Yuxing can do things. Yuxing, sleeper threat. Again, the best of the Lake Trio. Great support. Good Stealth Rock user. Good for setting it up. I don't think I had a Stealth Rock user yet, apart from Infernape either. So that gives me another option for that. So Infernape doesn't have to use Stealth Rocks. And speaking of Stealth Rocks, I wanted someone else who can set up Stealth Rocks. And again, I wanted more bulk, because when I've got mons like Infernape and Scolipede and Whimsicott, which Whimsicott can be bulky, but it's not really like bulk. I needed more bulk, but I wanted a hard hitting bulk. And I wanted something else to resist the birds, because Magnezone's good at resisting birds, but I didn't want Magnezone to be the only one that resists birds, especially against someone who's using a Talonflame or something, because Talonflame just kinda runs through the team at the moment. And we had this Pokemon last season, we got it halfway through the season, and I loved it so much, I fell in love with it. This is now one of my favourite Pokemon ever. Anytime I can use this Pokemon, I will. Returning from our team last season, the only returning member from our team last season, we have DeVito the Gollum. Oh! Gollum. Oh, how I love you, Gollum. Gollum is criminally underused. If there was one of my Pokemon that was criminally underused, it is motherfucking Gollum. He is like ridiculous. He gets Stab Earthquake, Stab Rock moves, which are great. Again, resists birds. It's got Stealth Rocks. It's got good move coverage. It's got Sucker Punch, Fire Punch, gets Self-Destruct, which is awesome. Another Explosion user, gets Heavy Slam, it's not bad. It gets a few special moves if I wanted to be edgy. If I really wanted to be edgy. Gets nice Gyro Ball, gets Natural Gift, and we all love a bit of Natural Gift. Does it get Natural Gift, or was that... Does it get Natural Gift? No, I think that was Nature Power. It doesn't get Natural Gift, that's what I'm saying. If it got Natural Gift, that would have been phenomenal. It does get Hammer Arm though, which is funky stuff. Endure, can run a Curse set, can run Rock Polish, Weakness Policy, and of course, it's got that 120 attack stat and 130 defense stat. Rock Polish, Weakness Policy will happen. It will happen, I promise you. And it will do something. And Gollum will continue to do things all season. because Gollum is underused. We got Gollum for 3 million. Gollum is not a 3 million Pokemon. He is so much better and deserves so much more love than that. With sturdy options, sturdy Custap Explosion, Sucker Punch, can set up the rocks, heavy slams, rock polish, weakness policy, moves, rocks, earthquake, dies a Golem! Respect the DeVito. Respect the DeVito. Some of you may have noticed though, that we do not have a Mega yet. We do not have a Mega yet. At this point, I had quite a lot of money left over. I think I had something like 28 million left, which was quite a lot considering I only had 2 picks left. Most people at this point had about less than 10, or had maybe like 15 million. So having 28 left was kind of ridiculous. But I saved my Mega right till the end, because I knew no one was going to take this Mega. Because this Mega doesn't get used very often. But it's good, and it works with the team that I have. This Mega works with the team that I have. So I want you to welcome our man who is going to be running down the wing, because he is another speed demon, and we needed more speed on this team. We got Antonio, the Mega Aerodactyl. Mega Aerodactyl's a cool people. He is cool people. He is a good pursuit trapper. He can do crunch. Aerial Ace, Tough Claws, not great. But Aerial Ace, Tough Claws, when you can pass a Swords Dance into it, it's kind of ridiculous. Also, Stone Edge can run. If I don't feel like missing, I can run Rock Slide instead. Earthquake options, the Fang options. It can run Roost. It can run Stealth Rocks if I really want it to. So I got another rock option. I also have another rock Pokemon and someone else to resist the bird spam to take the pressure off. Infernape, Scolipede and Whimsicott. And I didn't have my own flying spam yet. And this is a different kind of flying spam. This flying spam is... Most people, when they think of flying attack spam, they think of people like Staraptor or... what's his stupid name? Talonflame or something like that. But Mega Aerodactyl is its own form of bird spam with Aerial Ace, because then it gets all the rocks too, and it's 135 attack and 150 speed with Tough Claws, and it's 150 speed! You don't have to run speed when you've got 150 base speed! I mean, even if I pass one speed boost into Aerodactyls, it's going to be outspeeding everyone's choice Scarfers. Everyone's choice Scarfers. The only thing that really gets Aerodactyl is priority, and if I can't pass one speed boost into it, then some choice Scarfers can outspeed it. If I can get one speed boost into Mega Aerodactyl, done. It's just done. Because that's it. Tough Claw is a great ability as well. Things like Aqua Tail are going to be getting the boost. Aerial Ace is going to be getting boosts as well. Can also run Tailwind as well for cheekiness. Get Steel Wing as well if I ever want to deal with a fairy or don't have anything to do with fairies that week. It's not shabby. It's not too shabby. Also, I might run Rock Tomb a few times. Talk about speed control. Running Rock Tomb would be very beneficial for speed control. Especially since then I can outspeed anything. I can put that extra EVs into HP. Just so then if I have to run extra bulk into Mega Aerodactyl to make it sure it can leave a hit, if I can get a Rock Tomb off, then those extra EVs out of speed won't matter, because Mega Aerodactyl's base speed is ridiculous. The last Pokemon we drafted, didn't have a Dark type last season either, that was really missed. And this one was suggested to me by a few people, and I already have a Prankster Pokemon, but we all know what's better than one Prankster Pokemon is 2 Prankster Pokemon. So give it up for Control C Kitty, the Lifepod. We got a cat on the team, and it's Lifepod, and we like Lifepod because Lifepod does Lifepod things. It does Prankster things, it does Thunder Wave, and it does Encore, and it does Torment, and it does Copycat, which is really goddamn fun. It also hits pretty damn hard with Knockoff because it's Stab, and Lifepod's attack stat is nothing to sneeze at. I don't remember it off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure it's fairly decent. Like, it's not great, but it's 88. Base 88 attack is nothing. It's not terrible when you're doing stab knockoffs. And if you can put like black glasses on it, it's going to be doing quite a lot. Also get the priority trick for stuff if I wanted to do that. Gets Gunk Shot, gets Play Rough, does it get Seed Bomb? I feel like it gets Seed Bomb. I'm pretty sure it gets Seed Bomb. Could run Hyper Beam. And yeah, it's pretty cool. And for Lifepod's pretty cool. So that pretty much rounds up the team, really. We have our Dark type this time. We have a lot of Bird Spam coverage. We have Speed Control because we got 2 Prankster users, Tailwind users, Speed Boost users, Thunder Wave users with priority Thunder Wave. We got a Spinner, we have a Defogger. We have a lot of hazard options with rocks and toxic spikes. And we got people to just generally mess around with teams with slow U-turn options and baton passes and fake outs and sashes and mixed attacking options and bulk that can be offensive and offensive that, well, not really offensive that can be bulk. That's the only thing I don't really have. I don't really have offensive options that can be bulk. But I have bulk that can be offensive or bulky offense that can then be fast. So like I said, it's going to be quite a difficult team to use. It's not the easiest team to use, I admit. But if we can pull it off, this will be a great, great season. So make sure you support your West Shan United team. The battles are going to be going up on Mondays. Then first battle goes up this Monday coming up. So make sure you watch that. We want to get off to a good start. Hope to see you all there. Make sure you cheer on your West Shan United team. And if you really want to support your West Shan United team, comment down below if you would like me to put the team logo, which is in the bottom corner, on a t-shirt. And if enough people want me to put on a t-shirt, then I'll do that. Because I want one myself, but I don't want to do it. I don't want to make a whole thing if I'm the only one buying one. So if enough people want one, I will put that on a t-shirt and we can all support the West Shan United this year in the Pokemon Premier League. Hope you enjoyed my draft analysis. I know I'm not as great at analysing drafts as other people, and like I said, my layout's a bit crappy, but I'm lazy and I just kind of want to have fun. I don't take the league very seriously at all. So thank you all for watching. Love you all very much. I appreciate your time, and I'll see you all for more PPL videos very, very soon. Take care, everyone. Mwah! Bye-bye.